Come, let us stop ignoring our Buddha nature. Hidden truth revealed. So I'm going to tap button 14. Together, let us relaxingly recite. A reoccurring phrase in both Mahayana as well as Tantric literature is the Tathagata Garbha, or Buddha nature. This charming Iron Age turn of phrase hinted that enlightenment is our birthright and easily attained. Without requiring heroic effort or noble sacrifice. Sounds great, sign me up, but the mystery remains, how is one to realize it? One of the many advantages of living in this age is that medical professionals have access to sophisticated imaging technology of which the ancients could have never conceived. Functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI studies, have revealed that it is our sympathetic nervous system that is the seat of mindfulness, or sati. Our parasympathetic nervous system that is the seat of meditation, or samadhi. And our anterior cingulate gyrus that is the seat of our loving kindness, or metta. It is these three structures that compromise our Buddha nature, but a villain lurks. Just as the Buddha's foil was his foolish cousin Devadatta. So too is the team of our prefrontal cortex, the seat of focus and analysis, and our amygdala, the seat of anxiety and aggression, the opponents to the mechanism of our Buddha nature. Just as Jack the Ripper taught us that a surgeon's scalpel could be used to take lives as well as save them, so too could both the prefrontal cortex as well as the amygdala be either used or abused. The solution to this dilemma is twofold. The easy method to strike the match of enlightenment already in our grasp is to allow our sympathetic nervous system to mindfully do its thing during our inhalations. To let our parasympathetic nervous system meditatively do its thing during our exhalations, thus sitting in formal mindfulness and meditation once every 12 hours or so. We set space to live from our empathetic anterior cingulate gyrus effortlessly and automatically. A delightful fringe benefit of this is the manner in which our choices, utterances, and deeds could begin to flow from the right or effortless effort of love's centered spontaneity, which is the key to the sustainable use of our analytical prefrontal cortex as well as our primal amygdala. This is why the Buddha taught mindfulness and meditation. Having completed our opening lesson, let's shift gears. It is Ahsoka Tano Thursday morning. Come, let us meditate like a Jedi after approximately 30 seconds of housekeeping. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. For more than 30 years, I have harnessed my autistic special interests as well as my ADHD hyper-focused to spend about 8 hours a day, almost every day, studying, practicing, mastering, and reverse engineering the teachings and techniques of each school of meditation so that I could become your nerdy, neurodivergent guide to nirvana. Welcome, my friends, to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you. Please turn with me now to this morning's practice text, or sadhana, if you're nasty. Please relaxingly recite with me. Whatever comes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever stays, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Whatever goes, may all beings notice, relax, and flow. Upon the tip of our left ring finger, let us rest the great knuckle at the base of our right ring finger, palms up in our lap. Doing so can gently invite our real or imagined subtle energies to automatically coalesce at the navel region of our mid-abdomen. Let us review mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are wired to notice vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly, which is the opposite of concentration. Let us review meditation. Every time we exhale, our parasympathetic nervous system is wired to help us physically relax as well as mentally release. Therefore, during each inhalation, let us silently and mentally recite noticing, and let us silently and mentally recite relaxing during each exhalation. Good morning, and welcome to the second quarter of this morning's live stream. Let's together relaxingly recite an excerpt from the vast expanse of the diamond-like mind, composed approximately 14 centuries ago by Prahe Vajra, translated from the Tibetan by Chokyel Nomkai Norbu, translated from the Italian by Adriano Clemente, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Together, let us relaxingly recite this passage for 4 times. The outer and inner samayas abide in the nature of the aggregates and sense bases. Since in the 3 times no one is ever separate from it, there is no need to use the word samaya. The word samaya is Sanskrit, and it can be roughly translated as tantric commitments. From a certain point of view, the essence of all the tantric commitments is to rely upon the example of one's teacher, to rely upon the teachings of one's teacher, and to rely upon the students of one's teacher. The essence of all morality is found in the Buddha's Eightfold Path. It is none other, and it comprises 50% of the Buddha's Eightfold Path. It is none other than kindness. Kindness is the essence of all morality, whether the kindness be intentional, interpersonal, physical, or circumstantial. Kindness, kindness, kindness. The late Tulku Thondup insisted that the highest love was the spontaneous and uncontrived fringe benefit of mindfulness and meditation. Whatever sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, or scents we notice during our inhalation, once we exhale, they could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever experience of body, feeling, appraisal, impulse, or awareness we experienced during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as a vast empty void. With every inhalation, we are already wired by evolution to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly. With every exhalation, we are already wired to physically relax and mentally release. Cooperating with the birthright of our Buddha nature makes the fulfillment of samaya an inevitability. Therefore, there is no need to speak of keeping it meticulously or as a contrivance or as an act of fear or as an act of perfectionism. One simply flows from the centered spontaneity generated by mindfulness and meditation. And all so-called righteousness is on autopilot. Together. The outer and inner samayas abide in the nature of aggregates and sense bases. Since in the 3 times no one is ever separate from it, there is no need to ever use the word samaya. The 3 times is a poetic way of mentioning, of referring to the past, the present, and the future, or in other words, all time together. The outer and inner Take two. The outer and inner samayas abide in the nature of the aggregates and sense bases. Since in the three times no one is ever separate from it, there is no need to ever use the word samaya. The outer and inner samayas abide in the nature of the aggregate and sense bases. Since in the three times no one is ever separate from it, there is no need to ever use the word samaya. So in other words, we are always noticing whether we mean to or not. We're always noticing the external and the internal. That is how close samaya is. Cooperate with our Buddha nature, and spiritual success becomes an inevitability. With each inhalation, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are already wired to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice mind's antics of perceptions, emotions, intentions, cognitions, recollections, and imaginings. With each exhalation, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are already wired for physical relaxation as well as mental release. Therefore, during each inhalation, may we silently and mentally recite the verb noticing, and may we silently and mentally, and during each exhalation, may we silently and mentally recite the verb relaxing. Welcome to the third quarter of this morning's live stream. Together, let us relaxingly recite this 30-second passage several times. Together, immovable, it is the symbol of the body. Unshakable, it is wisdom. Do not take hold of anything, it has no self. Not rejecting anything, it has the equality that transcends worlds. Immovable, it is the symbol of the body. Unshakable, it is wisdom. As we relax into our exhalation, all that we noticed during our previous inhalation could seem rather impermanent. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever impermanence we noticed during our previous inhalation could feel as non-graspable as if it had momentarily ceased to exist, which is deliciously ironic. Let's continue. Not taking hold of anything, it has no self. Not rejecting anything, it has the equality that transcends worlds. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we noticed during our previous inhalation could fleetingly feel as non-graspable as if it had no identity. The fundamental duality of recognized by Buddhism is the tendency to shove or reach, push or pull, dread or desire. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever we crave, whatever we hate, can both feel as if they smacked of the same fleeting, momentary non-graspability. It is the experience of the exhalation that is the source of the equality of all the dualities we spontaneously perceive during our inhalation. But please bear this in mind. We are wired to recognize dualities as we breathe in. We are wired to recognize non-dualities as we breathe out. Just as a bird requires both wings to take to the skies, we need both mindfulness as well as meditation. We need both awareness as well as release. We need both inhalation as well as exhalation. Let us continue. Immovable, it is the symbol of the body. Unshakable, it is wisdom. Not taking hold of anything, it has no self. Not rejecting anything, it has the equality that transcends words. I've been committed to fitness and healthy eating all my life, and yet gravity wages a relentless campaign of destruction against my body. And as I approach the threshold of my 60th birthday, every morning I recognize my reflection in the mirror less and less and less. As we relax into our exhalation, whatever perception, whatever body we might have noticed during our previous inhalation could feel less tantalizing, less permanent, less defining, less graspable. Immovable, it is the symbol of the body. Unshakable, it is wisdom. Not taking hold of anything, it has no self. Not rejecting anything, it has the equality that transcends worlds. And now, how's about a bit of review? We'll begin with mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to the sympathetic nervous system ensconced within the middle third of our spinal cord, evolution has wired us to vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice phenomena, be they external or internal, physical or mental, pleasurable or painful, interesting or boring, glorious or grotesque. Let us review meditation. Every time we exhale, whether we know it or not, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system divided between the lower third and the upper third of that same spinal cord, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release. Therefore, during each inhalation, may we silently and mentally recite a note to sing, and during each exhalation, may we silently and mentally recite relaxing. The moment you have a specific question about Buddhist recitation, Buddhist meditation, or Buddhist philosophy, do not hesitate to type your question in great detail in the chat window. Now, together as a team, let's practice. Welcome to the fourth quarter of this morning's live stream. I'm a little confused by all these buttons sometimes. Please give me a minute. So together, let us recite 4 repetitions. Let us relaxingly recite 4 repetitions of this passage. Notwithstanding what, whose, and where, all that one uses and enjoys arises from oneself. Here of males and females, the king of equality has never spoken. So this is a deliciously controversial passage. This is throwing a brick through the plate glass window of the control and elitism of Yang's religious patriarchy. Our ability to notice arises. Oopsie, where is the cursor? Where is the cursor? Oh, it looks like Word is misbehaving again. So, boy, this really sucks, doesn't it? Hitting Control, Control, Control. Okay, so I'm not sure what to do right now. Control, Control, Control. Let's hit this. Having some problems with the computer, please bear with me. Well, this is quite a predicament. Not sure how to remedy this. Please bear with me. Well, that did not help. Well, let's move forward and see if there's any way I can make the most of this. So, our ability to notice does not come from the blessing of a teacher, does not come from a mantra of a real or imagined yidam, or god or goddess. It's because we have a sympathetic nervous system. Our ability to release is simply because we have a parasympathetic nervous system. Our ability to experience empathy is because we have a structure known as an anterior cingulate gyrus. So we don't need to go on some quest inspired by Lord of the Rings to achieve a hidden artifact. Enlightenment is as close as our body, as our breath, as our awareness, as our release. On this radical path of egalitarianism, there is no room for sexism. There is no room for transphobia or homophobia. Whatever distinction we notice during our inhalation, be it male, female, gay, straight, trans, cis, whatever racial distinction we notice, whatever cultural distinction we notice, whatever economic distinction we notice during our in-breath, is released as we relax into our exhalation. So let's recite together. Notwithstanding what, whose, and where, all that one uses and enjoys arises from oneself. Here of males and females, the king of equality has never spoken. Notwithstanding whose, I just had an idea. I just had an idea what might be causing this. So I'm going to try to rest the controls of the computer and try to hit Google. Now this might crash. If it does, I apologize. I mean no disrespect to you. I'm glad you're attending, but somehow I've got to solve for this. Yep, it is quite messed up. Don't know what's going on. Sorry, guys. Let's continue. Notwithstanding what, whose, and where, all that one uses and enjoys arises from oneself. Here of males and females, the king of equality has never spoken. Notwithstanding what, whose, and where, all that one uses and enjoys arises from oneself. Here of males and females, the king of equality has never spoken. So let's see if I can't somehow navigate. Okay. Wow. This is getting more and more difficult to navigate. Okay. Control. All right. So let's tap button 9. All right. Let's review mindfulness. Every time we inhale, thanks to our sympathetic nervous system, we are vulnerably, passively, viscerally, randomly, and fleetingly notice all manner of phenomena, including danger, safety, scarcity, abundance, pain, pleasure, scorn, praise, shame, or fame. Let us explore meditation. Every time we exhale, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we're wired to physically relax and mentally release. During each inhalation, may we silently and mentally recite to noticing. During each exhalation, may we silently and mentally recite relaxing. You have taken your first step into a much larger world. If you feel that I have earned it, you could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could even help support this channel. In approximately 9 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's evening meditation class and group practice. And if you are as geeky as me, may the Force be with you always.